Hey guys, I'm here at the factory with Mark, our head of hardware.
Hi.
We're building Mentra Live smart glasses. These are smart glasses with a camera that you can build apps for. They're a platform that you can deploy. They have an open source SDK. We launched them a couple months ago and we sold more than we thought, and we're almost out of hardware in the US. So I did an emergency trip here to China, to Shenzhen. We're at the factory building as many units as we can. And I'm gonna go do a little walk along the assembly line and show you how to make a pair of smart glasses. Ready to go, Mark?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's flip this around. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so first off, what we have here is gluing of our charge cable. So we've got this little cable connector in the back. That's because people are deploying Mentra Live in the field and they need to be able to charge it all the time. I've got a cable here, and if I just plug it in to my glasses, and then I can plug the other end into anything I want, like a battery pack or my phone, and now they're charging. So right here, they hold the unit underneath of this thing, it dispenses glue, and then it attaches that charge cable. Okay, let's keep going. So here we've got our temples, and the temples are getting these grills placed in them. The grills are going where the speakers go, and then they add a little bit of glue. That makes it so that they're airtight and watertight, so that you get great audio quality from your speakers on the glasses. These guys are doing the exact same thing, adding those grills. These are actually our speakers themselves. So these speakers get put into the temple, and they have this adhesive on it. So this guy's taking the speaker, he puts it into the temple, and then he adds this adhesive on top that's sticky, that's gonna get something else put on top of it a second afterwards. All right, yeah, you can see if you zoom in right there, he's adding the speaker grill to the glasses. All right, let's keep going, Mark. Okay, here we actually have, I think this is a glue dispenser, right, Mark?
Yes.
So we put the temples down on here. This machine zooms in super close, and it dispenses the glue into the temple. But we had bad timing that there's none right now. We just got to catch up with some of them. Okay, so here we're doing an air test, and they're all gathered around because there's one that's actually failed. They don't all work, imagine that. So right now they're basically like shoving air into that chamber and making sure that it's airtight. And if we jump over here super fast, we're doing the same thing. So this comes down, pneumatic, pushes air in, and then we have this test here to make sure that it's completely airtight. And if it's not, it's got to go get reworked or redone because the speakers are not going to sound good, and we want them to sound good. Here, so now we've already assembled the speakers and they're working well. So they're doing a couple things. They're putting a cover on top of the speaker, FPC to hold it on, and then they're also installing these circuits that have mesh on them. They're stickers rather that have mesh on them to hold create a barrier for the microphone so that dust and water and stuff doesn't get in. Is that right, Mark? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is the antenna installation. So we've got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on these bad boys. So you can connect to your phone over Bluetooth. You can stream video from these things to your own server. They can talk to your own backend. And this is the antenna, which is an FPC. It actually gets stuck on the inside of the temple like a sticker. They're actually doing both sides here, which means on the other side they're doing the touchpad. So one side's the antenna, the other side's the touchpad. So if I swipe here, I'm actually turning the volume up and down on my phone right now. So you can see here, I just turned up the volume, turned down the volume on my phone. Okay, more FPCs being installed. FPC is flexible printed circuit board, and we have a lot of flexible printed circuit boards in glasses because if you make it rigid, it's this thick, and we have a stack of like probably 4 of these in each arm, and so you can't make it too thick. This here, what is he doing now? Oh, he's actually, he's just tinning this solder to get it ready to add on the external charge connector that goes behind my ear here. So actually this isn't all necessarily linear. This would be happening before what we saw at the very beginning where we were gluing on the charge connector. Okay, this part's pretty cool. So this is our actual circuit board. So this thing has embedded in it, Wi-Fi, compute, Bluetooth, IMU. It controls the camera, controls the audio, controls the speakers and everything. And it's all on a board that's super tiny. And they're inserting this board into the temple. If you zoom in on that, we can see exactly what he's doing. So he screws it in. There's a few screws to hold it in place, and he's screwing it in right now. And we've got I think 3,000 of these right now we're doing on this batch, which is just this batch. Okay, and if you double tap the button, double tap that.
Okay.
Booyah. Okay, so now we've got, so now we're screwing on the PCB that goes on the left side. So the right side, as you can see, has the full computer in it, but the left side just has a little bit of computation right here. It's just a little bit of, no worries. Okay, so this side has just a small PCB, and it controls this light here. It accepts the input from this button, and it runs this microphone. So he's just screwing in the PCB that goes on the left side that also connects to the battery, because we have the whole battery in that left side there. All right, this is amp. So that's like half of a pair of smart glasses now. Let's look at the other half, which is the front piece right here. Okay, so he's starting out, these are raw, this is raw TR90 plastic. You can see all it has done so far is these little inserts placed in. This is Mentra Live. He's taking this out and then popping in a little harness, which is going to hold some of the electronics, like the camera, the light, that kind of thing. And then he's using this this pressure punch to hold it in there. Is that right? That's a bracket for the, yeah, it's a bracket. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Okay, now we are adding the screws to the bracket on the privacy LED. So on the left side, we got this LED that goes off whenever you, this side goes off whenever you take a picture. And he's screwing that in right now with the FPC on it. Now we've got so the camera's actually already been inserted, and now he's doing the full front FPC. So this is a super complicated, like 6-layer FPC, crazy thin, barely possible to make this with modern technology. And it gets inserted into the top of the glasses. This was really cool. I think it's worth the wait. Watch him slide this in. So sick. So right in the middle of the bridge is where the charger goes. You got that charger that charges in the case right at the bridge. On the right side, you've got the connector for the camera, and then on the left side, you got the privacy LED, and it's the thing that connects the whole glasses together. The computer on the right side, the battery on the left. Okay, so now we're actually inserting the inward-facing LED. So when you take a picture, you do some kind of action, there's actually an LED that I can see right here. Like every time I swipe, it's blinking green, and I can see it here. It takes a tiny little light pipe that guides light from the PCB to your eye, and he's inserting those there. Like they're so small you can barely see them. All right, so here we're inserting the pogo pins. So we've already inserted that PCB. Now we need pins that have metal that can touch it from underneath. So you can see these here are what touched in the case to charge, and we have this machine that pressure pops them into that plastic case, the TR90 case. This is another light pipe that this guy's making the light pipe guides that the other worker was just inserting in. Okay, cool, now things are really coming together. This is where the hinges get attached. So these are metal hinges that have a spring-loaded mechanism, and they take 2 screws, one on either side, and we're right now attaching them to the front frame, and then the other side, when those temples are ready, we saw the temples on the other side, that's what's going to bring those together into one piece. And speak of the devil, here's the temples being aligned. So there's a FPC that goes from the front frame into the temple, and we've got the FPC actually goes through the hinge, which is some crazy Marvel movie level tech, and then we add the screws in to hold it all together. I think we just got an inspection station here. The hinges, obviously, that's a sensitive process. So afterwards, he needs to assess to make sure that this was done correctly, and then he plugs the FPCs together. They all get plugged in together with these super slim Molex Slim Stack FPC connectors. Here is actually where we're doing the testing. So we're testing the buttons. You want to make sure that the buttons feel good. If a button feels mushy, if a button feels like it's scraping, it's a no-go. And so we're testing all of these to make sure that they feel very smooth and very good. Now we're doing an actual software assessment. So we plug these in, we flash our testing app, and we make sure it goes through some basic things, camera, microphone, speakers, all working okay. Same thing, we do fairly in-depth software testing because obviously we want to make sure everything's working before we ship it out to a customer or before we continue to glue everything together and close it up with the inside covers. This is a case that's been retrofit to make sure that the glasses are actually charging inside the case, make sure they have a good connection mechanically and electrically. I think we're almost done the line here, guys. Let's see what else we got. So I think this is one of our final testing jigs. Let's look in there. This is an electrical testing grid, I think, Mark. Do you know what they're doing? Oh, this is the sound. So that's actually a soundproof chamber, and they play a little bit of music in there, and they listen with microphones, and they make sure that everything sounds as it should, and they can actually see the result here. They sweep through a bunch of frequencies, make sure everything sounds good, and make sure that the microphones are picking up the proper sound. It's not enough that it just turns on. It has to actually sound proper. Looks like this is a rework station, so if there's anything wrong, somebody can come here and fix it up. But we have a whole bunch of these here that are basically ready to be continued to be assembled. So these are all pretty much fully assembled units that are working, and we just need to connect them together with the screws and then place the cover on the inside. So we're actually going to be making most of these before we put the covers on the inside. A little later in the day is when we're going to actually close all of these up and do our final testing. But I think you got a pretty good idea of how to make a pair of Mentra Live smart glasses in Shenzhen. So check out our website. If you want to build your own apps, deploy your own smart glasses in the real world, we build the OS that lets you do that. So check it out. I'll see you later. Nice work, Mark. All right, bye-bye.